Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The first wild card game has been played. It has been lost by the Yankees, won by the Red Sox. Game 2 of the wild card series. Tonight, let's talk some baseball.
So handsome.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, brought to you by DraftKings. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Trevor Plouffe, and next to him, Jake Storielli in the corner. We have BBD producing the episode. It's the first postseason recap episode. We will be live around 11:30-ish, in between 11:30 and noon every day. If there's a game the night before, we'll be live recapping the game or games that happened. We have one game to talk about today. Trevor, how'd you enjoy your night in New York City?
Well, you know, yesterday was a tough one, I think, around the office. Yanks didn't show up. We're going to get into that. But the mood was down a little bit. Jakey and I took an Uber home last night with Lucas, your bro, and we ended up at a nice little Irish bar over by Jake's house. So we had a good time. We hung out for a little bit. And Jake was the one who said, hey, you're never in New York. Let's go have a beer. So thank you for that, man. That made me feel nice.
Wasn't ready to go to bed. A lot of mixed emotions. Thanks to all the fine talking baseball people. And I just realized how big Trevor Plouffe wearing a Birds jersey. Coming in hot with that, yada, 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 yada. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're talking baseball. This whole company was kind of built off Yankee stuff, so there's always mixed emotions there. And multiply that by being their, you know, actually our favorite team. So sad times. I think there's big changes coming for the Yankees. There will be a lot of time to talk about that when we're a labor pod. So yeah, Yankees kind of crapped the bed, and we had an old lady harass your younger brother, Jim.
Hell yeah.
Harass? I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah.
That's what you call
Sexual harassment?
Yeah, a little
Good for
bit.
him.
21.
Oh, shit, what was I going to say? I told BBD already this morning. I've already spun it as a positive in my head.
Yes.
Obviously, I have a baby that's going to be delivered in the next, week or 2 weeks or something like that. So if the Yankees were making a deep run, that would have been, crazy weird to have to miss all of it and be with – obviously, I'm going to miss it and be with Katie and the baby. So now I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to do a pregame show and a postgame show after every playoff series. So our October just got way more fun. The live streams will be loose and fresh. And the Yankees weren't winning the World Series or going anywhere anyway.
I was going to say, you guys willed that into existence. You wanted this to happen so sweeping changes could come to the organization. You got your wish.
If they went 5 games versus the Rays and lost, I think they would plant their flag in the moon or whatever and say, yep, our philosophy works. It's just a crapshoot and the Rays were good. But you got to admit, there's going to be changes now. This was such a disappointing season for the Yankees.
And we said it a little bit yesterday when we were filling out our brackets and having everyone call in. We all, outside of BBD, who is company man, we all had the Rays. I mean, there's no reason the Rays wouldn't run over the Yankees. And then we were getting scared that nobody was picking the Red Sox. That's going to be a fun series. We haven't even gotten to really process that one yet. But yeah, I mean, there was never a thought in the mind that the Yanks, if they advanced, had a chance at the Rays. The Rays just yo-yo them and tease them. So hopefully this leads to the right changes. As Yankee fans, last offseason, the moves, don't love to pat ourselves on the back, do when we're right. We pegged the whole Yankees offseason. They had to trade out of Vino. That was their only cap they could clear up to get other pitchers. They did that, and it was all right, they're going to roll the lineup out there, and let's see. Next year's Yankees team is going to be a very different ball club, probably starting with the manager and probably 4 or 5 spots in the lineup. So it's a little exciting. It's a little nervous. Hopefully it steps in the right direction. But, yeah, I mean, it's end of a little what was supposed to be a Yankees era.
When was the? I'm just curious. I hear you guys say that, and I've heard that said before.
He said
when
what was
the era?
supposed. He said what was supposed to be.
17 when
17,
they had the young
yeah.
baby Brahmers. That was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, here we are.
Yes, that was, and Jake did say what was supposed to be.
It wasn't. Yeah, I guess it wasn't.
The Yankees act like they did
It's an
accomplish
era.
things. They didn't accomplish
Right, it is an
anything,
era.
so. But let's go into the game a little bit. Do we have a burn, Jake?
No.
Oh, okay. No burn. We're doing burns the rest of the way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sad burn.
Eovaldi pitched awesome. There's some at bats that you could tell the Yankees knew it was coming. There's that Glaber one. If you haven't seen it, go watch Glaber's at second at bat, or maybe it was Glaber's first at bat. Eovaldi has him 0-2. He absolutely doesn't even flinch at 2 sliders. He sits on them all out of hand, and they're nice pitches. They were jumping fastballs, the most first pitch swings they've had all season, I think, because they saw fastballs coming. So, I mean, Trev, you've played in the biggest. To you, it seemed like they knew what was coming and still didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. We couldn't find anything on the video that we had on Eovaldi, but clearly they did have something. I think not only Glaber's at bat, the whole first inning to me was like, holy shit, they have his pitches. The way they were taking off-speed pitches, the way they were attacking heaters, it just doesn't happen unless you have something. And I think he combated it by never leaving anything in the middle of the zone, which is what you're trying to do as a pitcher. And then he was doing the timing stuff. I think that worked for him. I think like he maybe couldn't figure out what they had on him. He's like, I got to do something. The timing of his leg lifts and the hesitations and stuff like that, I think was just enough because Yankees hit some balls hard, man. And they had some opportunities, just didn't go their way.
And they knew that the Red Sox knew something was going on because they were doing sequences with no one on. Mm-hmm. They were doing quick pitches and hesitation leg things, but and also like what gives this theory, I guess, a lot of credit is that like it's been confirmed to us that they had something the last time they faced Eovaldi, and they were just hoping they still had it this time.
Yeah.
Coach Ballgame in the chat, attaboy. Yeah, I mean, the Glaber at bat, like Jim mentioned, is the best example. On it, spits on 2 perfect sliders that start on the plate and end up off the plate with 2 outs. So you just wonder because, like we said, Trev and Jim went through a lot of video to try to figure it out, that you wonder what level it was. And baseball is a silly sport. You said it on the first swing of the game. Rizzo hits 114. It is right at the first baseman, so it looks like an easy out. 1 pitch, 1 out. If that ball is 5 feet either way, we're talking about a double down the line to start the game, and it's like, holy crap, they've got him again.
Everything
so that's
changes.
where baseball is a 6-6 sport that we're not necessarily sure how good the tell is, and Eovaldi was mixing things up, but man, he was pitching so good. I mean, how many pitches of him were splitting the white box on the plate? Like he shoved, man, and I just remember. He had that 2018 famous extra innings game where he came out and he threw 1 million pitches, and everyone was like, wow, what a gutsy performance. And then the Red Sox signed him after they won the World Series, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, I guess they kind of owed him that. That might not be the best contract, a guy with a career 4.2 ERA or whatever it was. And now Nathan Eovaldi stood on the mound at Fenway, and boy, he didn't outduel Gerrit Cole. I mean, he put Gerrit Cole under the table. So shout out to Nate Dogg, man. He deserves a lot of love.
Yes.
And shout out to Cora for making a dumb decision, but the results helping him out. Bringing Brazier in to face Stanton. I mean, if that ball is 2 inches higher, it's a game-tying home run, and you're like, why the fuck did you bring Ryan Brazier in to face Giancarlo Stanton when he presents the tying run? Instead, they send Judge home. Brazier gets an out of a 400-foot bomb. He gets an out at the plate. Gallo pops up, and then Cora gets away with that. And then after Brazier, they can go to Hawk and Robles and Whitlock. But that was bizarre. I don't know why Brazier got the ball there. It worked out more so because the Yankees gave him a free out by sending Judge home, which is just a terrible send.
It was a really bad send.
I got into some nerdy stuff on the send. Tango Tiger, I don't even know. Like, me and him basically speak different languages. We watch the same sport, and it's like we don't. And he had some video clips and different things. And basically he said even, Judge took like one faulty step.
Mm-hmm.
He got into the analytics on that. It was a bad send. We genuinely love third base coach Phil Nevin. He's been so nice to us. Good dude. I think, Jim, you said it when we were live streaming, and thanks to everyone that was with us while we were live streaming. It kind of bounces past the left fielder, and so I think Nevin's read on that was like, okay, well, if it got past one fielder, that's kind of that window that can allow you to score the run. It ends up in Kike's hand, who he's got a great arm. And I was reading some of the times on the relay throw. It didn't look pretty, but the times, the stopwatch, Trevi stopwatch said it was pretty good. And yeah, man, I mean, those are two huge difference makers in the same play. That massive wall in left field changed this game a little bit, because you're so right. I mean, at no point did we feel anything close to the emotion of what a 3-3 game would have felt like.
Yeah.
Like, if that stand ball is out, and we're talking about how the Yankees have the better back end of the bullpen and all, this game never felt equal.
It's just a really bad send. Judge had just beat out a single, and now if he's at third and Stanton's to say first because the throw doesn't go home, but you have a runner in scoring position, runner at third base with one out and a prolific fly ball hitter up. So the send doesn't make sense because Joey Gallo can pop one to the warning track like he did, I think, and Judge would score on that out, and now it's a one-run game and everything's different. So that was bad, but basically it comes down to Gerrit Cole. I mean,
Yeah.
you getting paid a ton of money, you have a personal catcher, and you go 2.1 or 2 and labored, and then it also on the flip side of that, you got to give credit to the dangerous heart of the order that Boston has, because Cole was nervous for good reason. Devers got walked twice in his first two at-bats. Even when he had him 2 strikes, he didn't want to give him anything to hit. That's how scary Devers is right now.
Yeah, Cole, he just didn't show up. And it did seem, Jim, like he was a little, I don't want to say he was nervous, but it seemed like it out there. Like he didn't want to make a mistake so bad that he ended up making a bunch of mistakes and putting people on that didn't need to be put on and leaving pitches middle when they shouldn't be middle. I think sometimes he made the right choice, just didn't execute it, and I think he was really trying to be too perfect, I guess.
He just wasn't ready. He wasn't Roman ready. And if you're worried about your performance, you're not confident, you're going to get into the mound and dance around and not go hard right into the zone, then you got to go to GetRoman.com/Talkin now, because you can get $15 off your first month. You can get an online free evaluation, ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you and find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Talkin and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving home. Complete an online visit today to connect with the doctor and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Talkin now to get $15 off your first month. Jake, do you think he would have done better if he had called Roman first?
I think Gerrit needed a little more blood flow.
Pitching with a boner's not exactly it, I don't think.
Jake plays. We'll be playing blitzball tomorrow, and Jake only pitches.
We'll be talking about Waino later too. No, I think that's the ultimate intimidation. You step into the box, and there's Gerrit Cole with just a throbber on the mound.
It might be like,
I'm not trying to hit against that.
What if it's like, that's all you got? And then it ruins everything.
Ooh, that's what last night felt like. Should have had some Roman.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other touch points here? They go to Hawk. I love using starters out of the bullpen in the postseason, only because the last 4 teams to win the World Series have used that formula. Yankees go to 2 relievers. That was crazy. I didn't think Boone did a really bad job with the bullpen until the Chad Green move. But how many pitches did Severino and Loaizaga throw? 28 and 27 respectively. And those guys had both just come off the IL. And in their 3 times out before this, 16 pitches and 15 pitches for Sevy. And for Laza, let's see, he might be more stretched out. He was 21, 14, 12. They got tired. Like Sevy walked 2, Laza walked 2.
Who do you bring in that's like a starter then? Is it Nestor? Like, who are you going to bring in that's
Well, they
that?
don't. The Yankees aren't built like that.
Yeah, they don't have that, right?
They build big bullpens and shallow starters. But if you're going to use Sevy for 2 and Laza for 2, then use them for 2 in the 2 weeks before the season.
Well,
because
to get 'em
they
built
visibly got tired and they walked, and Laza walked 2 guys. They bring in Chad Green to face the lefty lane. That's why you traded for Wandy Peralta, to have a lefty reliever face lefty hitters. Instead, you go to Chad, and now 2 of the walks score because the guy pitching hadn't pitched that far into a high leverage situation and got tired, and then you brought in the wrong reliever for lefties.
Trev brings up a great point there. You know, when we dove deep into this game and we talked about kind of both starters got touched up early, and I mean, for Gerrit Cole, we thought early would be the 4th inning or something like that. Nestor Cortez Jr., who had been really good for this team all year, and Jim, you're talking about them pushing Sevy, Loaizaga, those guys. They had other spots on the roster that they could have had. Nestor Cortez was their backup starting pitcher in this game. If Cole, got hurt, or if this game went to 13 innings, like that kind of deal. He could have also been a bullpen option, and they could have had a Jordan Montgomery available to do that, or someone else. Like, they had guys at the back of their bullpen they weren't going to use. They almost didn't have if Cole goes 2 innings plan. And that would have been really interesting. If Nestor could have had 2 clean innings there, and then you have the rest of those bullpen guys, you don't have to push Sevy to 28. You don't have to push Loaizaga. That's kind of interesting, and I think that blindsided the Yankees. Well, it shouldn't, because you should have a plan for that game, but it also should, because Gerrit Cole has paid a lot of money to not do that. And give Jimmer credit on this. I think he was on it first. He didn't really throw his knuckle curve, which I think when he's right is maybe his most effective wipeout pitch. And I think that ties to his hammy. And Cole's a smart enough guy. He wore it in the media. He said he wasn't good enough, all that stuff, because he wasn't. I won't be surprised in 10 years when the Gerrit Cole book is written and he's talking about, I could barely land on that leg. And look at his last couple starts since the injury. He's been bad. That being said, if that is true in 10 years, we're going to be even more pissed off because you can't take the rock then.
You want to know something pathetic?
Yes. Every day.
When we played blitzball at Miller Park, I couldn't throw my curveball because I pulled my hammy, and you really lean on that leg more, and you can throw your fastball without, and that's my experience and why I was like, maybe that's it.
I like it.
It shouldn't be comparable, but that's pathetic and maybe completely wrong, but that's my brain.
Hold on. If Cole comes and says, I can't pitch, you guys will be dragging him through the mud also. It was a lose-lose for me. If he really was banged up on his
lose for sure, because they rushed a lot of guys back at the end. And it seems like Cole probably, if it was the middle of the season, he probably takes like a full month out and rebuilds the hamstring. Tyone, they kind of rushed him back and he re-aggravated it. But you're trying to play in the playoffs. I totally get it.
Yeah, it's gosh, I mean, look, we talk about all the shortcomings for the Yankees, but what Boston did, I mean, Schwarber hit. I mean, that pitch to Cole, or the hit off of Cole, not a bad pitch.
No, that was just
at the top of the zone, and he freaking went up top. And you know what he did when he ran to first base? Another one.
Yeah.
Another one. He said that's, 2016 or something like that.
The Bogarts in the first inning.
Yeah, that was it.
Change up, middle was.
What's changed up for him? That's like his 4th pitch?
No, it's his 3rd because he doesn't throw the curve right now.
So, yeah.
But to righties, that's supposed to be your lefty kind of out pitch, and he left it dead dick to Bogarts.
And Bogarts had to be sitting slow there because he didn't throw him a fastball at bat.
That thing was just it didn't matter if you were sitting fast or slow. That thing was just 89 middle of the freaking plate, and he didn't miss it.
Yeah.
He didn't miss it, and, dude, super credit to him because, yeah, man, he didn't miss it. And it is kind of funny. We get lost in Yankees world, and it kind of didn't mean as much at that point, or it felt like something at the time. Schwarber and Rizzo both led off. They both got solo dongs. Thanks for coming, former Cubs. Trade deadline crew.
Yeah, Rizzo
Sox
bomb.
had every starter on the Sox besides Kike had a hard hit ball.
That's interesting because Kike had the most success against Cole
Mm-hmm.
coming into the game.
And Kike did have a hit, so
Even the backup.
that was fucking brutal. That was right after the Schwarber home run. Kike swinging bunt hit.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that how it worked? That was like a brutal back-to-back.
Even the backup catcher for the Red Sox hit a laser last night.
Would have been gone at the
On a
stadium.
mistake. On a mistake.
A lot of middles.
I think that it sucks for Stanton that his postseason performances in the last 2 postseasons will be somewhat forgotten because the Yankees just didn't win and didn't even go deep. It was a wild card game and then DS game. But my God, in his last 8 postseason games, Giancarlo Stanton has 7 home runs. The monster took at least 1 away from him, which I'm not complaining about that, but I think it's fun to point out stadium dimensions. It's not a complaint. 1.5 OPS, 8 games, 11 hits, 7 homers, his last 8 playoff games. I wish the Yankees could utilize that.
He showed up. He showed up, man. I do want to ask you guys something. I know this is. I don't want to get too Yankees heavy because we have other stuff to talk about. But why are you starting Andrew Velazquez and giving him 1 at bat and taking him out and then moving Gio to short? I just don't. I didn't understand if Gio could have played short. Squid's not your best offensive chance. I don't understand the whole move.
There's a lot of different ways to be upset about how all of that worked out. I think Jake and I are both upset, but for different ways. Gio should be the third baseman and Velasquez should have been a shortstop in my opinion because that's the best defensive
I agree
route.
with that. I agree with
and you don't want to lose on misplays. You want to lose because you didn't hit and your pitching gave up some runs. You don't want to lose because your defense gave up errors, especially infield defense. So I like that. But let Squid hit. Odor isn't that much better of a offensive threat than him, not to lead off an inning. Maybe if it's a situation and there's a runner on third and you're like, hey, Rugi, we need an at-bat here. We need you to fly ball. And, like, there's more presence of mind because he's a veteran. Maybe you pinch him there, but lead off an inning in, like, the 4th or 5th or whatever it was. Well, now you just have slightly better offense and now a worse defensive arrangement. So I have no – if you're going to start Squid, play him.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense, and like it's not like Odor is some like contact hitter who puts together super professional at bats or anything.
He's 3
like
true
that.
outcome, just like Gallo.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me.
And hey, as of a week ago, that it would have been DJ LeMahieu or Urshela, and it would have been a conversation. So that DJ loss kind of reared its head there a little bit because hey, I know DJ didn't have his best year. He has the sports hernia. He had tricep stuff. He had a hip thing. DJ LeMahieu on any given night can give you a 2 for 4, and he could slap through a hit. Like he's DJ LeMahieu. He still has the bat to ball. It just wasn't a pretty season. So that, and think that conversation we just had, Andrew Velazquez, I love him. I was yelling for weeks that the Yankees needed to make him their shortstop so he could be prepared for a moment like this. That didn't happen, and then he still finds himself in the moment, which is just a brutal ask. And then the kid from the Bronx, which had been an awesome story and still is, he gets 1 pitch. 1 pitch in this playoff game. So that sucks for him, and that kind of sucks for Rugi because, like you're saying, Rugi Odor, if you're throwing him out there, you're hoping he runs into 1 fastball and he gets the double or he gets the homer. You're hoping that happens over his 3-4 at-bats.
What was the change? Why did they bring? It was the lead off an inning. What were they hoping for him to do?
He struck out on 3 pitches and swung once. I mean, it was just like horrible.
Spark what?
Nothing.
I don't understand.
I forget what the score was at the time, but just Rugi's more likely to hit a homer. So I mean, getting 1 is nice, but to lead off an inning, that doesn't. How much does that really help? They were down multiple runs.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
A base runner who's fast like Velazquez, if he gets on, would have been
If
cool.
you're worried about
Good
Velazquez
defense.
like feeling overmatched in the playoffs or like overwhelmed or something, like why start him then?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. And that's the other thing I didn't like with it was, this is a big game at Fenway. I assumed Gio was hurt where he couldn't play shortstop. He ends up playing half the game at shortstop. Rugi's played in a lot of ball games. He can run into a mistake. A lot of games he doesn't. I'll admit that. But Velasquez, he's also a crazy speedster. His stolen base numbers are silly. So that would have given you another weapon off the bench to utilize if you could have kept this game close. I don't know. At end of the day, it doesn't really matter because Gerrit couldn't give him enough, and the bullpen gave everything they had.
And the
but
Sox
they had too
pitchers
many
were nasty.
innings.
Robles and Whitlock and Hawk. Hawk, oh my God, it was nasty. And the Yankees didn't have depth in their lineup.
The Yankees couldn't hit all year. Like that, Gerrit didn't have it, and the Yankees lineup didn't hit all year. It's going to be a big offseason.
Red Sox move on. Against the Rays, that's going to be a fun series.
It is.
Did we give him enough love? Obviously, Eovaldi gets a ton of love. The Brazier move is the only move that I thought was like ridiculous and actually didn't work, but only worked because the Yankees saved it for him. I mean, if that is so much, like so little bit higher, I don't understand how they brought Brazier into face Stanton. It didn't work, but they got out of it.
That's Cora.
Dahlback looked not great in his at-bats. So, first playoff game, but that'll probably...
He smells good, though.
Yeah, he smells like cologne.
Oh, my God, yeah. Like an Abercrombie model.
All right, well, we will be live again tonight. It's brought to you by Dugout Mugs. They're sponsoring all our live stream content. You can go to dugoutmugs.com/talkin. You can get a free knob shot glass. You just got to pay the shipping and handling. You can get any mug with 30% off if you use the code TALKIN. And they're giving away free products all playoffs long. All you have to do is film yourself drinking from any Dugout Mug, post it, tag them on socials. You're entered to win. If you don't have anything from Dugout Mugs, they're giving you 2 great discounts, the free knob shot and the 30% off mug. They've been with us forever. We love Dugout Mugs. We've been drinking out of on the live streams. When you hold them, they feel great. Someone asked what gummies I'm taking tonight. Well, we're doing JOMBOY and Jake Radio at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to nibble on something before that, whatever we have in the office. I'm actually low. Need to go to California again. Trev, I should have made you bring me a ton.
I should have brought you some.
Damn.
When it's legal in New Jersey, when are they going to open the infrastructure and stores and
up.
stuff? Come on.
Nameless Jeff, let's go.
Dugout Mugs. So tonight, Cardinals-Dodgers. We did a wild card preview yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever the hell it was. Has any of your opinions changed?
I don't know, man. This is so hard to call it one game. I think, obviously I got the Cards jersey on, and that's pretty much solely because Jack told me to. If you're just looking at it objectively, I mean, the Dodgers are an absolute juggernaut. It's hard to pick against them, but it's baseball, man.
I hope it's a fun game. Last night, there was singular moments, but I think, and the consensus I saw was from like third party for an elimination game against Yankees Red Sox, that it was more
boring.
dull.
There's like an inning of fun.
Yeah, it wasn't
What
that
was
fun.
the viewership at? Did we get to see that?
The ratings?
The ratings,
I don't know if I haven't seen those yet, but I can see. Our ratings did good. A lot of people joined us. It's our most watched live stream ever, so we'll be live again tonight. We'll be having a lot of fun. Join, but I hope we get like crisper, I don't know, just more like, I hope we get a pitcher's duel through 3 with some good defensive plays to keep it a pitcher's duel.
You just want it to be in range. I know we're on the opposite side of the spectrum, and there's probably some Red Sox fans saying, well, that was a fun game for us. As a third party, like Jim said, I mean, the Yankees were only in striking distance once, and then the next inning, the Red Sox punched back and pushed the lead again. So, yeah, I'm still excited, kind of like when we did our call-in episode the other day. Too many people were picking the Cardinals.
I agree.
Just like the Yanks. So that has me a little nervous because, let's be honest, I just want to remind the people, Mookie Betts, Seager, World Series MVP, Trey Turner, MVP votes this year. Will Smith is one of the best hitting catchers. Justin Turner is an absolute stud. Cody Bellinger has an MVP in the bag. Bad year, but like A.J. Pollock, this team is stacked. And by the way, Max Scherzer's on the bump for them. So the Cardinals are good. They got hot. Their team kind of came together. A couple younger guys got older. Our fashion king, Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson in the outfield. Around the guys on the corner, Goldie, Arenado, and, of course, King Yachty behind the dish. You just hope it's fun. I hope Waino gives us a performance we get to talk about for a while. And, hey, maybe Jay Flair with some sparks out of the bullpen. Gallegos
Do we have an
nice.
over-under? Do you guys want to do a homer draft or something real quick?
We can do something.
Do you think it's going to be the young guys or the old guys for the Cardinals if they get the job done? Is it going to be Arenado, Goldie, Yachty, Waino, or is it going to be like Tyler O'Neill comes and bangs? Or
The future of the Cardinals.
You
lean old guys, right?
they're mostly old guys.
Yeah.
I'd
I
like
wanna
to
see
see
Tyler
I'd
go.
like to see Bader and Mookie like trade highlights.
I like that.
Okay. I like that. Over-under in this game is 7.5. Wayne over Scherzer.
I don't know. The Dodgers could win 10 to You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they won 106 games. Look at their lineup. Look at their roster. It's like
Joe West is calling. Oh, can I do umpire splits real quick on both those guys?
please.
Let's do it.
Because they got to have a lot of history with fucking Joe West, Scherzer, and Waino.
Like we said about the Bogarts homer yesterday and how that kind of changed the entire game path. The Cards kind of need that. The Dodgers don't. Like the Dodgers, all those guys I named, walk, hit, homer, you get 3 runs pretty easily. If the Cardinals can get up and the pressure can be on the Dodgers, like they kind of need that.
I don't even think that matters. I think the Dodgers,
if the
if they're in
Cards go
striking
down,
distance.
Yeah. Dodgers just need to be in striking
Yeah.
distance.
Okay, who do you want first, Waino or Scherzer?
Waino.
Waino, we just said.
Waino has started 3 games with Joe West behind the plate. In 2006, he did have 1 inning of relief with Joe West behind the plate.
Okay.
His last start was 2016 with Joe West behind the plate. He has a 1.27 ERA in 21 innings with 19 strikeouts. I wonder if umpires have tendencies, and they definitely do, but I don't know if they're tracked, like on curveballs. Like, oh, yeah, that dude loves calling the high curveball. Because a lot of the complaints now is that umpires anticipate the 2-seamer coming back in the zone, and it never actually does, but they just call it because they think it does. That's like a lot of complaints players and managers have during ejections. So Waino's got good numbers. 6 walks, 19 Ks, and 21 innings pitched. Scherzer. Wow, he's started 9 games. 1 this season, 1 in 2018 with Joe West behind the dish. 2.06 ERA. 67 strikeouts in 56 innings, and 20 walks. A 1.129 whip. Waino had a 0.844 whip. So there's some stats that exist, but do not matter. Joe West was completely inconsistent. If you want to watch, he sets up with the batter, like very much on the batter's side behind home plate. So outside pitches, last game he called on Sunday night, he was giving a ball off outside. Lefty or righty, it didn't matter. It's because he sets up so diagonal that he was giving a ball off each ways. So watch out for that.
Yeah, he's like one of the old school umps where, like, if you keep hitting this spot,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you. And that's just not how baseball should work. It's like if that spot is a ball, it should be a ball. Hopefully he doesn't come into play tonight. That's like my one wish for tonight. Don't let Joe West
He will.
make it about Joe West. Please, Lord.
I mean, this whole umpire crew is the make it about themselves crew.
Who is it? It's Angel?
No, it's not Angel, but it's Culpa.
Oh, Copa likes Copa.
Yeah.
Oh, Ronnie.
Culpa likes Culpa.
And there's hold on, there's like a couple others in there. 2021 wild card umpire crew. This is the crew that's been getting in shit all season.
They just keep the crew? They don't. I thought they did individual guys for the postseason. Maybe
Well,
not the wild
Culpa
card
and
game?
Joe West, I think, have been on the same crew.
Yeah, that's tough. Jeez.
Oh, so Laz Diaz,
Mm-hmm.
Alan Porter. Alan Porter,
Oh, yeah, my boy Al.
he has ejected so many people this season.
Dude, the only ejection of my career is Alan Porter.
Really?
Of my whole
Love
entire
that.
baseball career. So, yeah, he's got the quick hook.
It's
I actually like Al, but...
I feel like you told that story. Didn't you guys make up the next day or something?
Yeah, he
Or
told me
after the game.
He told me he didn't want to throw me out because it was 100 and some degrees, and he's like, if I had to be out here, you need to be out here.
so Jim Wolf is a highly respected umpire,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Everyone loves Jim Wolf. He's doing third base, meaningless base.
Yeah.
Like him behind the plate.
Third base is important.
Al is a good umpire, though. Al is a good umpire. If he was behind the plate, I'd be happy about that. And he does throw people out, but I think he's a good umpire.
Well.
And who else is it? Laz. Laz is all right.
Yeah, he's
Nice
just
dude.
not going to take any nonsense.
Ramon and Chris, the young guys down on the lines. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll be live around 8 o'clock. Right? It's 8 o'clock game again?
Let's do it.
Yeah. And the three of us in about half hour will be on JOMBOY and Jake Radio making a lineup out of fruit and doing some other dumb shit. So
yes,
it'll be a lot more silly, stupid chatter. That's the show. Jake, your final last words that you always say?
Be a good game.
Did you see a butt last night?
Saw a butt.
Jake sucks.
It was old. It's a bird life, baby. Let's go, Jay Flair. Jay Flair wouldn't lead me astray.